Ahem. So Huda on Love Island has been caught in the act of being herself, which, not my words, literally the forefather of reality TV, Alan Funt, said that. Is Alan Funt watching Love Island? No, he's dead. Are we watching it, or maybe just interested in the commentary that's surrounding last week's crash out? Yes. It's easy to think of reality TV as this sickly sweet romance that's sentimental, but it's really a brutal look at human nature under pressure. What's fascinating is that Huda is only 24, right? She is the product of a lot of modern romantic ideas that recent mass media has been pushing. Is this the snake eating its tail? That's why we're watching. Her ideas about what each gender should do in a relationship show how much has changed and also how at the same time nothing has changed at all. So what human nature has this drama all revealed? Well, it's really dangerous to base your baseline self-worth in somebody else's actions or your relationship to them. Fallible people cannot serve as the basis for your sense of self. And there will always, always, always be drama when you choose that. So the first 2 weeks of the villa, Huda quickly solidifies herself as the most toxic and divisive member of this couple. Jeremiah and Huda connected hard and fast day one. They essentially love bombed each other, got intimate very quickly, and then swore that they were each other's endgame. Granted, they don't really know anything about each other at this point. Now, you might be tempted to think, what's wrong with that? This is a competition where 4 of the most strong couples at the end are voted on by America to win the prize. Because yes, forming a strong connection, having a budding romance, giving the public a story to root for, it's a winning combination. But the way Huda chooses to frame Jeremiah's actions as either he's the most evil scum that's ever walked the planet or he's the best man that the world has ever seen throws that story into jeopardy by week 2. Jeremiah is expected to serve her flawlessly. She provides him sexual baddiness and attention. This is not even a inherent feature of the villa. It's a very amped up version of some social media dating sprinkle stuff that you see online. It's kind of this product of modern dating advice that says the man provides material goods and you provide sexiness, and the strength of your relationship is in how well you both deliver those things. That sort of advice comes from a real place where women realize that what they bring in terms of companionship, domestic labor, or as a person who is running a household, it has value. It has monetary value, and they should be getting some form of compensation out of that. There's nothing wrong with realizing that. Part of the reason you are seeing a surge of that kind of advice is because this feminist idea of you can have it all did not necessarily account for people marrying men who would then not help in any possible way, who would bring very little to the table, and then the women would be killing it outside the home, killing it inside of the home, and then doing all the kin keeping. This is why it's important for your feminism or your politics to be intersectional, because if you thought about womanism, which it comes from Black liberation ideas about what it means to be a woman and be respected in a community, you can kind of tweak for those things. What we are seeing now is this fetishization of dominance and submission that's rebranded as patriarchal advice that will keep you safe from where feminism has failed you. And it's a fantasy that falls apart in actual practice. Okay, but this is where the misery starts and the audience gets feral. People got upset because they are watching Huda treat every single one of Jeremiah's flaws, imperfections, perceived slights as the end of the world and as proof of rejection. Accusations of emotional abuse, accusations of manipulation. It all starts flying. Couple goes through the traditional wild challenges that everybody knew was going to be on the show, and Huda has this blatant double standard. She can kiss other people, he can't kiss new bombshells. Babies him, she polices him, he says he feels like he's treated like her child, and she keeps holding him to this idea of some ideal man, and he just can't reach it. And then we watch as Jeremiah deflects. He can't confront her. He doesn't know how to communicate properly. He starts to look for little easy ways to drop the rope, and she freaks out because the connection cannot wane. And ironically, after all that, she's not even being led by a strong man because she's the one emotionally dominating and socially trying to make sure that they stay together. But oh, what a twist. Lest we think this is just simply commentary on Huda with a morally superior audience, we find out production has decided to make the audience no longer a passive bystander. For the first time in history, production has given people power in a way that they have not before. And if there's something audiences can't stand, it's hypocrisy. And when given the power, they made her pay. Do the visuals help? No, she is this dark-haired woman who is loud, she's aggressive towards her partner, and now she's being pit against this blonde, serene, cool Iris. While Iris didn't necessarily have the strongest connection with Jeremiah, the people having been given the power to vote on who was going to be recoupled in this historic recoupling, they made that decision for her. Recouplings happen every couple of episodes. It's like a kind of musical chairs where the couples are shuffled around, and those who are left outside of a couple, they're vulnerable. In a stunning reversal, America votes to break up Huda and Jeremiah, and they pair Jeremiah with Iris, and then what follows are days of name-calling, espionage, and all sorts of crash out. Also many, many tears. Why did Huda feel such betrayal after only 10 days? Doesn't she know this is just a show, and yes, even a show that could launch you into a media career worth millions of dollars? If anything, you could just take the bag and run, right? Well, no, because if this show reveals anything about the politics of human nature and dating, it's that sometimes you don't date just for status with other people, but for status within yourself. Sure, Huda likes Jeremiah, but what we see is someone who loves what Jeremiah makes her feel in juxtaposition with other women she is in competition with. After all, this is a competition that trades on some people's worst fears, which is being traded out for someone hotter with a bigger butt. The name of the game is uncertainty, but when you are not used to accepting rejection as something that doesn't touch your self-worth, that kind of uncertainty makes you feel uncertain about yourself. To be closed off from day one and not explore any other connections is to close yourself off from rejection. The entire uncertainty of the open dating process that is built into the game, you just skip over it. This is gaming the system so that you're never rejected and you're never compared to somebody else's other connection. He seems to be battling some serious insecurity and this anxious attachment, so jumping into a relationship from day one and just not moving from it, that could help assuage some of those fears. Your exposure to abandonment just goes way down. This show has a way of revealing the social norms we cling to in dating and some of the ones we secretly wish we could break if we were given the chance to. The show gives permission for the cast members to break those rules, to find a connection, but they also give this live American audience the chance to punish them for stepping too far out of line. Knowing how to openly look for a new connection and look like you're trying while also not betraying the connection you're with, it's a balancing act that the audience can reward. Huda does not walk the tightrope. She doesn't walk it one time. What's become clear is that Huda cannot let Jeremiah go even after all this wildness has happened, because if she lets Jeremiah go, she has to admit a kind of self-defeat. Watching him move on with Iris, it's a blow to her sense of self. If she was as great as he had originally said she was, he would have just weathered the storms of the abuse. And when Jeremiah got paired with Iris, it left her vulnerable in more ways than one. All the rest of the cast saved her from being dumped from the island. They made her promise that she was not going to return to the craziness of her Jeremiah connection. But alas, the clinging and interrupting chats happened within 5 minutes of that promise. And even though she says she's done, she watches him like a hawk. Episode 16 just dropped today, so we'll see what happens now. You might ask, why would somebody with an anxious attachment style go on this show? Why do cast members like Huda on various reality TV shows find themselves battling this same kind of shock that they are potentially being rejected? Aside from the future career aspect of this, everybody wants to think that they are the exception. That someone will break the rules of the show to go running off into the sunset with them because they're that special. It's external proof of internal worth. But the issue is, and this is what the alpha male podcasters and some of the sprinkle people don't tend to realize, is that people will fail you at some point. The pancake will be undercooked. Some people will just accidentally, truly forget the flowers. You can lose your money. You can lose your job. You might even lose your arms. Our gender roles are often very dependent on a certain level baseline of health and wealth, relative wealth, staying stable. Come from some intrinsic natural allocation of time and labor, but they are reactions to forces like political circumstances, financial realities, social tradition. Other people's actions are not proof of what we are worth or if we are valuable or high value. While Huda's behavior might be great drama or entertainment for the masses, it is not a true sign of passion or love. It is not a sign of how much she believes in her worth. If anything, it's a sign of fragility. Fragility that no alpha male can fix. If what shows like this do to society or reflect about society interests you, I would highly suggest you read the book Cue the Sun by Emily Nussbaum. It won a Pulitzer. And now off to watch episode 16. Let me know your thoughts.